There's something mysterious about power, the kind that doesn't come from position or wealth or fame, but from surrender, the kind of power that begins when you stop trying to be enough on your own. That's where everything changes. You see, many of us are fighting battles every single day, silent battles. Battles in our minds, in our emotions, in our families. We try to fight back with our strength, with our logic, with our pride. But still we lose again and again. Why? Because we've misunderstood where true victory comes from. The cross is not a decoration. It's not jewelry. It's not a symbol of weakness. It's the greatest paradox of strength the world has ever seen. It represents the moment when power defeated pride, when humility shattered the illusion of control, and when surrender became the weapon that ended all wars within the human heart. The real secret is this: you can't win the invisible battles of life until you understand what truly happened at that cross. It wasn't just pain, it was purpose. It wasn't just sacrifice, it was strategy. What looked like defeat was actually domination, because every force that tries to destroy your peace, your confidence, your destiny, was disarmed there. You don't defeat darkness by shouting at it. You defeat it by turning on the light. That's what the cross does. It flips the switch. It exposes lies with truth, shame with grace, and fear with love. And when you understand that, the devil doesn't stand a chance. Because you're no longer fighting for victory, you're fighting from it. Every time you stand tall after failure, every time you forgive when it hurts, every time you choose peace over revenge, you're declaring the cross still works. You're proving that surrender isn't giving up, it's taking back control in the most powerful way possible. So maybe the next time life knocks you down, don't rush to fight back. Pause, remember, the cross isn't behind you, it's within you. And when you walk with that awareness, you don't just survive the storm, you silence it. Because the truth is, the devil can't defeat what already died at the cross, and he can't destroy what already resurrected in you. True victory begins where human strength ends, at the moment of surrender. We grow up believing that victory is about dominance, about proving our worth, about being stronger, faster, more intelligent than everyone else. We are taught to fight back, to never bend, to never let anyone see our weakness. But the truth is, some of the greatest triumphs in history were born not from resistance, but from release. The kind of release that says, I don't have to control everything to win. The kind of release that says, I trust something greater than my own will. Because there's a quiet kind of power that awakens the moment you stop wrestling with your limitations and start embracing what they're teaching you. It's the moment when you realize that the weight you've been carrying wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to bring you to your knees, not in defeat, but in revelation. We spend so much time trying to be invincible, pretending that pain doesn't hurt, that disappointment doesn't sting, that heartbreak doesn't shake us. But strength isn't about pretending. Strength is about facing the truth with open hands. When your plans fall apart, when people walk away, when the future you envisioned dissolves before your eyes, that's when you discover the real battlefield. It's not out there. It's in here, inside your chest, where surrender whispers louder than struggle. True victory doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from pausing long enough to understand that some wars can't be won through effort. They can only be won through alignment. The world glorifies control, but control is an illusion. The more you try to hold on, the faster things slip through your fingers. Life isn't asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to be present. Surrender is the act of letting go of your obsession with outcomes and allowing the unseen to guide you. It doesn't mean you stop trying. It means you stop forcing. There's a massive difference between fighting for what's right and fighting because you're afraid of losing. Surrender removes fear from the equation. It teaches you that peace is stronger than panic, that faith outlasts failure, and that calm can conquer chaos. Every person who's ever risen from ashes had to reach that breaking point where pride was no longer enough. Because pride can make you stand tall, but surrender teaches you how to rise after falling. When you hit the wall, when you've done everything you can, and still nothing changes, that's the moment life invites you to surrender. not because it wants you weak, but because it wants you free. And freedom doesn't come from winning every battle. It comes from realizing you don't have to fight every one of them. When you surrender, something shifts deep inside. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop fighting life and start flowing with it. You begin to see the purpose in pain, the meaning in mistakes, the lessons in loss. You stop seeing surrender as failure and start seeing it as wisdom. Because wisdom isn't knowing how to manipulate life. It's knowing when to move and when to be still. True surrender isn't giving up your power, it's reclaiming it from the wrong things. It's pulling your energy away from the noise and placing it back into your soul. That's where victory starts to bloom. There's a strange irony in life. When you finally stop trying to prove yourself, you become unstoppable. The energy that was once wasted on control becomes fuel for creation. The anxiety that once clouded your mind turns into clarity, and the fear that once held you captive transforms into focus. That's the paradox of surrender. It feels like you're losing, but in reality, you're gaining everything that truly matters. You start seeing how every delay, every rejection, every heartbreak was never meant to destroy you. It was designed to develop you. It was pushing you towards something higher, something unshakable, something real. Think about it. Every great story, every transformative journey begins with a breaking point, and in that breaking, you either fall apart or fall into place. Surrender allows you to fall into place. It gives you the courage to stop fighting what is and start trusting what will be. It takes incredible strength to say, "I don't know how, but I still believe." That's not weakness, that's mastery, because it means you've stopped measuring success by control and started measuring it by peace. And when peace becomes your standard, victory is inevitable. Surrender teaches you patience in a world addicted to speed. It teaches you stillness in a culture obsessed with movement. It reminds you that not every delay is denial, and not every loss is failure. Sometimes life has to strip away your illusion of power so you can experience the real thing. You stop chasing validation from others and start recognizing the power already within you. You stop demanding answers and start embracing mystery. You stop living like you have to fight for every breath and start breathing freely for the first time. The moment you surrender, the battle changes. You're no longer fighting against life, you're flowing with it. You begin to see that surrender isn't passive, it's the most active choice you can make. It's choosing faith over fear, grace over control, purpose over pride. It's understanding that true power doesn't come from force, it comes from freedom. And freedom begins the moment you let go of the illusion that you're supposed to have it all figured out. The moment you release the need to win by the world's standards, you start winning by the soul's. That's the kind of victory no one can take away.